I just got my first ever drop shot largemouth here. Right at the top of the mouth. There's a drop shot rig, you can see, I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm just a little guy, but fine. Well, I wanted to try something different, so I went and bought some Robo Worms. This is the name brand of these ones, the floating Robo Worms. This is the brown and green color that I'm using. But you know, mostly you know what a drop shot rig is anyway. We'll talk about it. I've never used one before. I've just seen them used a lot, and for more finesse tactics, stuff like that, you just tie a uni knot on the number one. This is number one drop shot hook, and then just a little 1/8 ounce teardrop weight tied at the bottom, and then I'm just nose hooking it. Go about 1/4 inch back, up halfway through the middle of the worm, and then you just barely, I don't know if you can see that, barely pop that hook out like that, and then this thing sits like this and then dangles, and you cast it out, and barely moving and that kind of thing. But a fish in a brush pile that I've marked before, fish in a brush pile over here, and I'm just throwing this thing right on top of the brush pile, dragging it over so it falls in there, and a couple bumps. And before I caught that fish, I lost another one, because you gotta let them kind of swallow this whole thing, because you're just barely hooking that worm. The reason why you hook it in the front here like this, instead of like hooking it farther back or even using a bigger hook, is that it gives it more wiggle. So when this thing sits, you know, tight like this at the bottom, and I'm barely bumping this line, this worm is just bouncing all over the place. So well, I'm gonna throw it back out there and see if we can't get another one here off that same brush pile. So what I've been doing is kind of grabbing onto this tree and position the boat, because we got a little wind out of the west here. And right out here, where that big kind of crown of trees is, right in front of it, there's a brush pile. So I just kind of throw it to the, out a little bit to the right, and then let it sink here. And those 2 bites on the way down. There, just pull it off some brush. And then you don't even have to jig it that much. You're just barely bopping my tip, and that worm will just flutter. Alright, rub it off some more. And that teardrop is pretty sensitive for how small it is, only 1/8 ounce. Try to get you down there. But they hit it pretty aggressive, boom, 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 you know. So I just gave it to them, and just like you would any other kind of worm fishing. For a split second. And in this setup, you don't really have to ram on the rod. You kind of just slowly reel up the slack and sweep with it, because that small hook can pop out pretty easily. This might be a better fish here. I thought it was a log. Oh, it's a small one. Inhaled that worm though. Holy cow. That's off that same brush pile I just cast it at. Oh yeah. Hook is right here. Lose a lot of worms using this. But pliers here. Right there in the corner of the mouth. Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere, that's for sure. Yeah, there's a little guy. But yeah, I was still, just as I cast it in there, I thought it was a log. Because it didn't fight anything when I lifted on it, and then it just kind of bumped once or twice, and I said, well, set the hook on a log, that's no big problem, and boom. This is more geared towards the finesse, but the fish aren't biting hard or anything. I caught one earlier this morning on a spinnerbait, but it was nothing real exciting, and I tried crankbaiting a little bit off the deeper drop-offs, but I might go back to that later. but yeah, here you go. About a 1/4 inch back, halfway through the worm. So you're not coming all the way up the top. You just barely poke that thing out. Barely poke it out. Like that. Another one off the brush pile. They're not very big. It's kind of an awkward bite. It's not real hard, and so it makes me think they're not real hungry. I don't know what's, they're not real big, but I gotta use one worm of fish, so that's gonna be an expensive endeavor. But I mean, it's just something feels heavy because I'm not moving the weight. I'm just basically letting it sit on the bottom like this, and then I'll just jiggle the worm. I'll sit there and jiggle it like this, so I won't feel any bite or anything, so they can come up and sit on it. I'll jiggle it for a little bit and I'll pause it, jiggle it for a little bit and pause it, and then I'll move the whole rig over and jiggle it a little bit again, and then they're just sitting on there and choking it, that's for sure. Gotta get in our worm. Getting too easy. Mark them on the depth finder, like when I'm casting it short. He was right underneath the boat, so I dropped it over the side of the boat. And just was jiggling it, and he smacked it. Gotta be able to read your electronics.